Hello, Heidi Ho. How's it going? Happy Monday. So today I'm just going to be on for a few minutes. I want to talk with you about how do you use LinkedIn most effectively in order to get an executive job. So let's talk about that. I think it's worth some discussion, don't you? So LinkedIn is absolutely a powerhouse of executive searching. It is, in the last 3 years, it has really come into its own as far as helping executives get a job, their next job, a perfect job. But it's not the LinkedIn job boards that are helping you do that. It's actually reaching out to the person that would be your boss. In other words, the decision maker. Reaching out to the decision maker and connecting with them, and then just really selling yourself, but not really selling yourself. So let me explain that. Most people, when they're trying to use LinkedIn to find an executive position, they're doing it the wrong way in that they're selling themselves too early. So my suggestion to you, if you're going to use LinkedIn, which is really a very successful platform to find the right people, to be seen and see the right people, really, you want to use LinkedIn by first sending a connection request to that person who would be your boss in the company that you would want to work for and at the level that you want to be at. Meaning, if you are wanting to make a big move up, let's say you're at a manager level, you want to make a senior director level, sometimes even a VP, depending on the size of the company. You can do that by first connecting with the person that would be the boss of that person, and then, but you don't mention that you're looking for a job. You don't mention that at all. So it's just a connection request. And then what I recommend is, if you can, start to put out some content on LinkedIn. That means posts. It could be getting someone else's information that you like and then sharing that. You can do that quite a bit, but also write your own LinkedIn articles. Write one a month, because what you can do is, after you connect with someone, maybe a week later, you could send them a link to your LinkedIn article. Now, because it's staying on LinkedIn, in other words, you're not sending them to another platform like YouTube or Vimeo, you're actually sending them to a LinkedIn article. That means that LinkedIn is going to bolster that. They're going to like that. If you, let's say you send it just out on the news stream or the news feed, you can do that. Or you could send a direct message to the person that has connected with you, and that is just simply a, hey, I just published this article, thought you might be interested in reading it specifically because, and then point out something about that company or about that person that would be relevant to that, to that article, okay? So you can do that. I would say give it at least 2 weeks since, I'd say after they connect with you, give it at least 2 weeks until you let them know that you're starting to look for another career opportunity. And the way that you do that is, you don't say, I'm this great person and this is the great stuff that I do. You don't want to do that. You don't want to beat your own chest. Instead, you want to describe the gaps that you would fill, or more importantly, the problems that you solve, but not say it in the solution standpoint. Do it as a problem statement. In other words, meet them in their heads where they are. So for instance, if you're really good at turning around underperforming operations, then you would say, if your operations are still struggling from the pandemic, and you don't have a plan to get you out of the hole that unfortunately the company's dug itself into, then maybe we should have a conversation, because that's my expertise. So you see how it's talking about them and meeting them in their heads versus trying to beat your chest and say how great you are. So do that, and you will find that you get better responses than if you just say, I'm the best thing since sliced bread and you should really hire me. you can't sell yourself too early. You really have to build value first. In other words, that's why I say, do a LinkedIn article. If you're going to be a thought leader, you have to have thoughts, and you have to put your thoughts out there. So thought leadership, as far as, let's say you just talk about leadership principles, and make it easy. 3 things to keep in mind when selling to enterprise clients. 3 things, like the 3 success factors of insert whatever you do here. And then at the, you're going to say 1, 2, 3, and then at the end of that, you'll put just a really quick blurb about how you have done that in your career, so that there's the opportunity to beat your chest right there. When you're talking about a specific story, an achievement story, and if at all possible, put quantifiable results on there. So you would, to kind of step by step walk you through it, you're first going to send a connection request and make sure that you personalize that connection request. Maybe say their name or just something about their company. And then a couple of weeks later, maybe a week or 2 later, you send them a link to your LinkedIn article. And then another week or 2 later, you send them a basically an invitation to talk if they're having XYZ problem with whatever you solve as their XYZ problem, okay? So then put it down as a problem statement and have a conversation with it, or ask them for a conversation if that's what they're experiencing, okay? And then you would want to rinse and repeat. You would want to do this for a little bit of time every day. Now, how do you find those people? You know, how would you find the right people in companies when you don't know all of the companies out there? That's something that you can use LinkedIn Sales Navigator for. So Sales Navigator is a LinkedIn subscription. It's $80 a month, and it will enable you to put a lot of filters in to find exactly the right person or persons that would be the decision maker in the companies that you would want to work for. Think about the criteria of geographic location, which really isn't that big of a deal these days. If you're not the CEO, you could be anywhere. You could look all over the United States, or if you're overseas, you could be looking in the entire country where you reside. And then after that, you've got location, and then you've got industry. If you're interested in certain industries or have some background or experience that you want to use in a certain industry, you could also look at size company. And if you look at the lead filters versus the account filters, the lead filters are individual people. The account filters are companies. You'd actually want to look for the people. And that way you're getting the individual names of the people, and then you can send them a connection request, one at a time. Now, the way that we do it for our clients, we actually use some automation so that it becomes a numbers game. You're getting out, 75 to 100 connection requests on a daily basis. And then, for those people that then accept, then you're sending out, we get about 30 to 40% of our clients get those connection requests accepted. So it's about a 30 to 40% acceptance rate. So then you would want to, again, give them a piece of value like an article or even just a post. And then a couple of weeks later, then you want to give that call to action message. And you can even follow it up with what we internally call a pest message. In other words, maybe a month later, you say, hey, I don't want to be a pest, but, and then you go into a little bit stronger wording as far as selling yourself. But at that point, you've already sent them a good number of touches and they know who you are. So it's not a complete cold call, if you will. And also keep in mind too, this does a very important thing for you. It allows you to have a meaningful conversation with the person that would be your boss in the company that you would want to work for, or companies. Remember, you want to do this a lot of rinse and repeating here. But what it allows you to do is cast the net very specifically for those companies that would be perfect for you. Not necessarily a spray and pray approach. It's like 500 sniper rifles going exactly to your target. But here's the most interesting point. You're not going to have cold calls. So the people that are interested in talking with you are going to reach back out to you. Therefore, it's not really an outbound campaign. It's more like an inbound campaign, meaning that if they're interested, then they will contact you to have a conversation. And guess what? They know you're looking for a job. They can see what you've done on your LinkedIn. They're very interested. Otherwise, they wouldn't have even say yes to the connection request. And they are interested in talking with you about that opportunity. So it's almost like laying the groundwork for a hiring process, and it's not like you have to sell yourself too much. They're asking you the questions, but you can ask them questions as well. So I want you to think about this approach to using LinkedIn most effectively in order to find an executive position. Now, you can do this with really any level. As a matter of fact, recently I helped my daughter's roommates one of them was from out of town, another one was in between jobs, and they both used this to find a good paying job, but at an hourly level, just in retail hospitality, but also one of them was in like an IT help desk. So that's what I've got for you today. I hope that this has helped you. I hope it's served you. I would love to hear what experience you've had on LinkedIn. Has it been good? Has it been bad? I'd love to hear that. So put that in the comments down below. And be sure, and if you like this and you're seeing this on YouTube, then be sure and like this, put a like up, thumbs up, as well as subscribing so that you get notification whenever I go live. All right, hope this has helped. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will be talking with you tomorrow. Bye.